So, Monkey7 back here again, and today I'm going to give my views on the Pokemon Direct that was just up a little while ago. So I've even made myself a little list to go over. So, start of the Direct, they showed off a little trailer, and there was a few things that they showed off in that look really cool. But the first actual big news that they showed off was 4 new Pokemon lines. There's now Wooloo, which is going to be a basically like a Mareep, it looks like. There's going to be a Gossifleur, I can't remember how to say its name, which will evolve into an Eldegoss, which is just a little it's just the normal, really weak grass type or bug type. We also got to see Dreadnought, which looks really cool design, which is, I'm gonna guess it's like either a steel or like a rock type, maybe? I'm unsure, maybe dark even, because it's just talked about it biting and crunching through things. And then lastly, we managed to get some information on a mon called Corviknight, which is classed on a Raven, which is really cool. And when the guy showed off the design artwork behind him, there wasn't very much bar the starters and then them 4 lines, but there was a really small hidden detail that about the Pikachu's tail hidden in one of the bushes. I think that was a really cute little Easter egg to hide in there. Then they went on about the wild area, which the mons actually there change with the weather, which is going to be a bit different, because even though we have had different mons coming in weathers, I'm pretty sure that Castform's got the different cloaks and dealings in the different seasons. This seems to be very heavily dependent on the weather, so I don't know if I'm happy about that, because I would be, but I know that if the weather's just randomized from the base game, that'll be fine. But if they're anyway linked to the actual weather in the current position, it's not going to be that fun, because where I live, there's not that much change in weather. Okay. They also said that we have now movement of the camera, so we can move the camera around like in, hopefully, Breath of the Wild. And in the first trailer that we saw, they showed off the bike. That looks really good. But they also showed off, which looks really odd, but I'm fairly happy about, that the bike can actually now float. So we may be able to not have to find surf for once, which is going to be really nice, because a lot of people are not happy with the way that HMs used to be used, and some people weren't even happy with the Pokemon rides in Sun and Moon. So I think that'll be really good if everything can be done just with the bike or just the trains, and the Corviknight can transport you to previous towns. Now then, after this, they talked about the main feature of the games, which is actually going to be, I don't know if I'm really happy with this one, but it's called Dynamax. So it allows your mon to become absolutely massive. It also allows it to get it's based on its own moveset, but it's slightly different. So the Raichu's move became it was no longer like Thundershock or Thunderbolt, which you would usually have. It was called Max something. I didn't manage to catch that in the actual trailer. But thankfully, even though I'm not really a massive fan of this so far, it does appear that they said that this would only be lasting for 3 turns, which is really good, and you can only do it once per battle, so it's a bit like Mega and Z moves once per battle, so that I'm fairly happy about. And then the next thing that they talked about was the max raid battles. So this can be done locally or online with 4 trainers, and it's your 4 Pokemons against 1 Dynamax Pokemon, and it seems like it's going to stay in its Dynamax form or whatever they decide to call it. And there's a few things I'm a bit skeptical about, because only one person can Dynamax in the battle itself. But if you're playing online with strangers, how will you be able to communicate? That's my one concern. My second concern is it showed only one person throwing the Pokeball at it to catch it. So does that mean that only that one person catches it? Or does that mean that all the people who are in the battle catch that Mon? And we saw it against a Gyarados, a Weavile. Was it Weavile or Sneasel? I don't know. I can't remember. Wow. It's only on like 15 minutes ago. And the other concern I do have about this is the fact that with raids, like in Pokemon Go, for example, as soon as the game was popular, it was fine. It was easy to find people to do any raids whatsoever. But as time goes on, less people want to do the raids that you may want to do, and it's harder to find those people. But if it's online, hopefully they'll be able to combat that. The next thing they introduced was a few intros, like the champion Leon, which I quite liked the design of, because it shows him wearing like a little cape and crown from the hat. When it sticks up, you can see the little crown. I found that really nice. Another thing it showed off was your rival Hop, which he doesn't really look like someone who's going to be like nasty to you, which we were all kind of hoping for, like a hard rival. But the one thing I hated even more is that one of your rivals is Hop. So that may mean that you have numerous rivals, like in X and Y. So I don't know how I feel about that, honestly. I mean, having numerous rivals was nice because they could all do like different things, but at some points in the game, you don't need numerous rivals. You realistically, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. They also showed off the new professor and the assistant, which is Professor Magnolia and the assistant Sonia. And then they also showed off the Pokemon, the first Pokemon gym, I'm presuming, and the gym leader called Milo. And he only has a second stage Pokemon from what we can see, but what's different is you can see 6 Pokemon on him. So who knows, this may be a slightly more open world game when you can challenge them in any order, and then they will match up to your level or match you for something. I don't know. I'm looking forward to that. And then the last thing they showed off was the legends. And for Sword, there is going to be one called Zacian. Now, personally, I'm not a fan, but I mean, I quite like it, but the fact that he's just like holding a massive sword, I don't know. So I'm probably going to be getting Shield, with the legend being Zamancia, and because I think the design with him looks a bit more integrated and a bit more, like, not realistic, obviously, but looks a bit more toned down, the fact that he's not holding a shield. So, and then the last thing that they showed off was the release dates being the 15th of November 2019. So, all that seems to be left to say is thanks for watching, and the next type of video of my thoughts on should be the actual Nintendo E3. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and see you guys next time. Thanks, bye.